So I'm just wanting to share a few things every now and then when the inspiration comes about the things that I have observed in my life, about the things that I have put into practice, I have tried on to see if I could make my life easier, more fun, feel safe, feel abundant, feel connected, feel excited. These are the kind of things that I want to feel in my life. And the story out there, I know from being a very young child that I remember this memory of being on this bus, and it's like I was about, I don't know, 7 or 8, although my mum always says every single memory that I have seems to be when I was 8. But anyway, I was young and I was on this bus and I was with my mom, and I remember I can see the seats. I can see we were sat on the two-seater that was like facing the wrong way. I used to love sitting on that when I was a kid. That was like my favourite place to sit because it was a bit different. You weren't just sat going forward. And I just remember sat there and looking at everyone and thinking, just, it's weird. It's so weird in this place. Like I had all these thoughts going on in my head, like I had this whole other world that I was living in inside my own inner world. But I didn't know how to express that. And I didn't really, I wondered whether I was the only one experiencing it because no adult spoke about it. It was weird. And obviously that's because we are born into a false matrix, and it's not the organic matrix. It's not how we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live knowing from birth that we are souls and be programmed into, not programmed into, helped into embodying our souls rather than it being severed. But anyway, I digress. So that drive inside of me, the soul, the eternal fire, creation, the why we came here to create. That's what excites us, and it's just the programming that holds us back from doing that. So I'm always focused on how I can change something inside me to change the outside. I started to realize that when I changed the inside, it literally, it rearranged reality for me, even if it didn't necessarily look like the reality to other people had changed. For me, the landscape totally changed when I observed myself and then embodied different simple practices, because I always want life to be easy. I always remember having this repeating dream when I was little. Again, probably 7, but no, I was older because I was going to school, and I used to have this dream where I didn't have to get out of bed to go to school. I just used to roll over into this like big car thing that would like just take us automatically to school, and I'd still be in my duvet and I didn't have to get out of my duvet. I didn't have to run for the bus. I didn't have to do all this stuff. It just shows, right? We were just like little slaves being conditioned to be little slaves, totally going against what we really wanted to do, what was really fun and fulfilling for us. Every time we had to do things, it wasn't in alignment with the true self, with the soul, which was just basically everything we were born into. Then it takes a bit of our soul. It causes a little bit of fracturing, a little bit of trauma. So I digress and I go back. So, this one thing that just came to me, which I do use all the time, is I started to become really aware of making sure it was me choosing. I started choosing to do things deliberately. That felt good. I started paying attention. What feels good? I'm going to choose to do that. And even if it was something that I would choose to do that didn't feel good, I would own that and I would know that I chose it. And if it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to turn out, or it didn't feel good, then that was fine, because it's just another way for me to observe and make a little just twist, turn to the left or something. And I could just keep tweaking and playing around with it and starting to realize the power that I have as a conscious creator. If I start to consciously participate in my life by choosing, so that was one of the ways that I consciously participated. I made sure that I knew I was choosing me. I was choosing because I'd connect into myself, and I'd ask myself, I'd try and move out of the mind, out of fear, into the body. And this was a process. I didn't always do it this way. Sometimes I just did it on instinct, and sometimes that worked out for me and sometimes it didn't, and that also taught me about my instincts, and when I was really listening to my instincts or I was listening to fear, so it could also start to course correct and sort of tweak that as well. And I could see how as I was doing that, I was consciously choosing my experiences, being conscious about a choice I was making. It wasn't being made for me by someone else because of someone's expectations. I was choosing, and I might have been choosing to indulge in an addiction, but then that was fine because I was choosing it. And obviously, I can then observe that and ask myself why I'm choosing that. What is it that I'm getting out of it? Because we're always getting something in order for us to make those choices. We just have to start to become aware of what that is and look if there's another healthier way that we can meet that needs rather than that addiction. And often there is, because often it's just because we've got healing to do. We need to go inside, we need to turn the lights on, and we need to see what's there and rearrange by choosing what we keep in our inner world and choosing what is not ours, because there's so many things within our subconscious world that we didn't consciously choose, that someone else chose for us. So it's a process of working out what that is, and we do that by becoming conscious that we are choosing. So I just want to share that little simple practice that you can start putting into your life by becoming the observer, by being conscious of your choices, and then being conscious of how those choices are created in the world. And then you look at that creation and you say, do I like it? Do I want to live in this creation? Does it make me feel good? And if it doesn't, we don't have to be hard on ourselves. We don't have to judge ourselves. We can just see, okay, I can make some adjustments. It's how we learn, grow, and expand. And we become more and more conscious, and we realize how our choices are so powerful to create a life that we desire and we all deserve to live.